Hi guys, so as you can tell from the title of this video, I have some really exciting news to tell you. So on the 22nd of June, I got engaged. I'm so excited. Yeah, so I've got a lot to update you guys on, so that's kind of why I haven't filmed a video, because it was my birthday the week before, then I got engaged, and now I've just kind of been enjoying it being engaged. That was a lot of, well, the word being in that sentence, that was really hard to say. So yeah, but now I'm back to making videos. So I have a paranormal story that actually happened to Nathan and I last night, but I will make a separate video because I want this to be all about my engagement and how I got engaged. So I'll insert a photo of the ring in a second. And as you can see, it's beautiful. It's literally like everyone that's seen it is like, oh, that's so you, because I am not someone that is really like, I'm not into diamonds, and like I'm really just whatever. Like I wouldn't have cared if you had like a freaking plastic ring. Okay, well I would have, but I'm not, oh my god, that's only 18 karat gold. Like no, like I don't care. So this is white gold and it's a princess cut. Yeah, I really like it. It's the perfect size. It's got just enough room to where if I wanted to take it off, I don't know why, I could, but it doesn't fall off or anything. So yeah, I really like it. It's white gold, like I said, princess cut. That's all I know, and that's all that matters. So basically everybody that I know knew that he was going to ask. Everybody, literally everyone that I called and told, I was so excited, and everyone was like, yeah, I know, or yeah, we knew. And I was like, are you serious? Like I had no one to like get excited with. It was great. So leading up to, okay, so my birthday was on the 17th of June, and we went to the Blue Mountains the weekend after, which if you live in Australia, you'll know what they are. If you don't, Google them, or if you follow me on Instagram, I've posted a couple of photos of me at the Blue Mountains. I might insert some photos at the end of this video of like where he proposed and stuff, because I took photos. So yeah, he has been saying for ages that he wanted to take me to the Blue Mountains, because I've wanted to go for ages. I'm pretty sure most schools in New South Wales actually go to the Blue Mountains as like a camp sort of thing. I know I did, but I mean I was like probably like, I don't know, 9 or something, so you don't appreciate it. So I've been saying for ages that I wanted to go, and he said, alright, I'll take you for your birthday, just for the day. Because, did you know how much it costs? He told me he looked into seeing like how much it costs to stay there overnight. It costs over $1,000 just for like a room, like for night. Like no, I'm sorry, I would have been really angry at him if he hadn't done that. Anyway, so leading up to it, like the week beforehand, I thought he was acting really weird, and like, okay, it wasn't like I was totally surprised. I was really surprised that he did ask me, but having said that, we've spoken about it, but I always thought it was going to be further down the track. I wasn't expecting it now, so it's not like he sprung it on me without having talked about it or anything. So yeah, the week beforehand I thought he was acting really like standoffish and a bit weird to me, but I just didn't think anything of it too much. And then on the car ride there, it takes about 2 to 2.5 hours. It took us 2.5 hours because there was roadworks. To get there from where I live. So, you know, we were jamming like 90s music and like singing to old music and stuff. But like he was just being like really, really quiet and not talking, and I was like, what's wrong? And he's like, I'm just concentrating on where to go. And I'm just like, alright, like it didn't click in my head. So we get there finally, and poor thing must have been absolutely shitting himself. He told me he was nervous the whole trip, which is why he was like barely talking to me. I was like ignored the whole car ride there. And so once we get there, you kind of get to, oh my god, how bad is that? Oh, what's it called? Echo Point in the Blue Mountains, which is kind of where like the information centre is, where you can go on different types of walks and stuff. So we first said, alright, we'll go to the Three Sisters, which is basically like 3 big, they're all like pretty much the same height and all pretty much the same distance apart. They're just like big rock formations. I think they're like over 1 kilometre tall. Anyway, so from Echo Point you walk down to the middle of the first one, and then you can kind of walk onto the first one. If you are scared of heights like me, do not, and I'm telling you, do not go look at the Three Sisters. I am like petrified of heights, and we start walking. I'm okay if I'm in like an enclosed space, like if I'm in a plane or if I'm in like a building. If I'm enclosed, I'm fine. Literally, it was like that steep. The steps were probably almost, I want to say almost a meter between each other, and majority of them were carved out of the rock, so they were really uneven, and you just had like 2 handrails to hold on to. My legs were like jelly, and I've got asthma, and it was really cold, so I was like breathing in cold air, and it was making my chest hurt, and I was like like it was like my worst nightmare ever. And then once the rock steps end, they become like metal steps, but they're see-through, so you can see below you. And I mean, obviously you're going to be like, oh well, don't look down, but hello, I am like almost a kilometer up, and there's only railings, as if I'm not going to look down to see where I'm walking. But it was so bad. So anyway, we get to where the Three Sisters is. You get there and you can walk further down, and I was like to Nathan, I'm not fucking walking down any further, because I don't think I'm even going to be able to make it back up what we've already walked. Yeah, so you get there and you can either kind of go down more steps or walk across like this 2-meter bridge onto the first one of the Three Sisters. But there's literally on the Three Sister, first rock, whatever, you know what I'm saying, because they're kind of like, you walk down the steps, there's one here, and one here, so there's just a bridge to the first one. Obviously you're not going to go to all of the other ones. There's only room on it for like 5 people, otherwise you just kind of have to awkwardly stand like a kilometer in the air on like this wooden bridge. And I was like to Nathan, I don't want to stand here, and he was like, why? And I was like, because I'm scared of heights. So we literally stood there for like 30 seconds, and I was like, wow, this is really pretty, okay, let's go now. So we walked back up the stairs. I think I had like a mini asthma attack. Oh my god, it was so bad. I was like, I felt like I was on the Biggest Loser. I was like, go on without me. Like, so tiring, and my chest was hurting, and I couldn't breathe, and oh my god, it was so bad. And you guys probably know I don't hike or walk or anything. I don't. That is, no, it just doesn't. It's not even, what is hiking? It's not even in my vocabulary. So I managed to get to the top, and Nathan, I'm like, give me a minute. So I like find a seat, and I'm just like sitting there like almost passing out because I can't breathe. And so I caught my breath back, and I was okay. And then he was like, do you want to go on the, I think it was called like the Prince Henry Cliff Walk, or the Prince something Cliff Walk. And he was like, let's go on that. And I was like, okay. And the good thing is, well, it worked in his favour. On the 22nd of June, it was really shitty weather. It had been raining like non-stop. It's been raining a lot in Sydney. It's sunny today, luckily, but for the past like 2 weeks it's been raining really heavily. So it was raining really bad that morning, but I looked on the like, I have an app for the weather radar, so it shows me like most of New South Wales and where, if there's rain and where it is and stuff. Basically Katoomba's 2 hours away from Sydney, so if it's raining in Sydney, it's not necessarily going to be raining in Katoomba. Worked out to Nathan's favour, because turns out it wasn't raining, but there weren't a lot of people there because of the shit weather in Sydney, if that makes sense. So we were going on this cliff walk, and it was completely deserted, not in a creepy way, there was just no one else there. And we're walking, and there's just like bushes and stuff, and then there's like, you're walking along this path, and then it splits off, and we're like, what's that? And it was like this beautiful lookout. I'll insert some photos here. Yes, it was this beautiful lookout called the Lady Carrington lookout, and so I was a cute bitch, and I packed sandwiches and stuff, and I was really hungry, so I was like, can we sit down and eat? Poor thing is probably like, Courtney, shut the fuck up, like I'm trying to plan something here, and I'm like, la la la, like munching on a Vegemite sandwich. I know that sounds really Aussie of me, but I was eating Vegemite sandwich, and we were just talking stuff, and it was beautiful. The view was like, oh, like you look at it and it is so beautiful that it's like, okay, I'm not actually looking at something that pretty, because it's so like pristine. It's amazing. Yeah, so a couple of people, while we were sitting, because there was just like this one bench at the lookout, a couple of people came, looked at the view, talked to us, we were talking to them, left, whatever. So I finished eating, and Nathan was just about to finish eating, like he had like his last mouthful in his hand. So I put all the rubbish back in my bag, and I was like standing looking at the view at like the railing thing, and then I was like, okay, let's keep walking, because that was like the first lookout, but there was a couple more if you kept walking further down the track. So I was like to Nathan, okay, let's go, like, come on. And he was like, babe, and I was like, what? And he like grabbed my hand and pulled me, and then like held both of my hands. He couldn't kneel on one knee because we were on literally like a cliff, and to get to the lookout you had to step over a gap that was like that big, which does not seem like much, but when you're on a cliff it is a lot. And it was really uneven and stuff, and there wasn't like a proper fence, so I'm glad he didn't kneel, because if, I don't know, imagine if I had have said no, he probably would have jumped off. No, that's a bad joke. So yeah, he didn't get down on one knee or anything. If he did have, I would have obviously known straight away, but it didn't like click in my head straight away. So he was holding both my hands, and because of the shock that I was in, I don't remember the whole thing that he said, and he can't either, but I remember he was like, I love you, and I was like, I love you too, come on, let's keep walking. Like, dickhead. And he was, I'm not even going to try to recreate what he said, but at the end he was like, and I was just wondering if you'd marry me. And I was like, what? Really? And he was like, yes. And I was like, oh my God. And like, I didn't say yes straight away because I was like freaking out in my head, and I'm like, oh my God, really? Are you sure? Really? And then I was like, oh yes, of course, of course. So then we were like hugging and stuff, and then yeah, then we kept walking. We went to the second lookout, and I got a little bit teary when he asked me, but you know, I was alright. I called my mum. She obviously already knew, but I think hearing it from me like kind of made it click, because I called her and I was like, hi Mum, and she was like, hi, and I was like, so, and she was like, yeah, and I was like, well, and she was like, what? And I was like, Nathan just asked me to marry him, and she didn't say anything, and I was like, and I said yes, and she literally burst out crying of happiness, not like, no, it was happy tears, and I lost it. I was like crying hysterically. I was like, I'm so happy, and oh, it was so funny. So then Nathan was like, can we go home now? And I was like, we haven't finished walking. And he was like, I only came to ask you to marry me. Can we go now? And I was like, okay, fine, because it was starting to rain as well. So yeah, that happened, and then we got back in the car, and I spent the next 2 hours just calling people, screaming, and yeah. So that's how he asked you to marry me. So we're not planning on getting married for like 5 years, because obviously like I still live with my mom, he still lives with his mum. We were going to look at places to move out and rent, but in Sydney, and I kid you not, like we literally were looking last week for Sydney for a 1-bedroom apartment that is kind of pretty much ugly, that has no balcony, $300 a week. $300 a week for a 1-bedroom apartment that is small, that is a shoe box. Oh, I can't even. And people are like, oh yeah, but it depends where you live in Sydney. It does. I'm literally not anywhere special. I'm probably by train 20 minutes away from the city, and by car probably 40 minutes. I'm really not that close to the city. I'm probably 20 minutes away from the airport. Like, I'm not far away, but I'm not anywhere where I should be having to pay that much. So our plan is we're just going to live separately for the next few years, but obviously like see each other, like just kind of stay how we were going, and save up hopefully to put a deposit on a house, which is kind of exciting. And I have to organise my engagement party, and I just don't feel old enough to be doing all of this stuff. So yeah, I thought I'd update you guys on that little aspect of my life. So yeah, I'm really, really happy. It's funny because it hasn't changed our relationship, and I feel like it almost shouldn't. I don't think being engaged or being married should change your relationship in any way. I mean, you know, I'm gonna be with my best friend for the rest of my life, and that just makes me really happy, and I'm gonna get upset, and don't cry, Courtney, don't cry. I don't know, it's just like a really nice feeling. But it's funny because I feel like it hasn't sunk in properly. Well, it has, but I don't know, I'm still kind of, I think, in awe about the whole thing. And it's funny because at work, customers are like, you got engaged? I'm like, yes. It's just, I don't know, I'm still really happy about it. So yeah, but if you're on my Facebook page, like I've told you guys 100 times, if you want to stay updated, go to my Facebook page, because, you know, I'm kind of slack with videos. I don't have a schedule. But yeah, if you're on my Facebook page, you found out literally like 3 hours after it happened. So yeah, I thought I'd update you guys on that that big exciting thing that happened to me. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!